New developments in Europe where Russia launched another attack on Ukraine amid the latest U.S.-led push for peace. The drone strike in the Odessa region damaged residential buildings and injured 4 people, including 3 children. It comes as Ukraine's leader is now suggesting President Trump fly to his country to help end the war. Meanwhile, a new complication for the U.S. Coast Guard's pursuit of an oil tanker near Venezuela after Russian flags suddenly appeared on the vessel. NewsNation's Libbey Dean is live at Mar-a-Lago. Libbey, so much to cover, but if you don't mind, could you start with that oil tanker development?
Hey, good afternoon to you, Nick. Yeah, this is a new twist here in this 2-week pursuit with this crew and this oil tanker. We're now learning from reports that the crew aboard that oil tanker that the U.S. is pursuing painted a Russian flag on the side of that vessel, all in an effort to claim protection from Moscow. And this all began actually 2 weeks ago when the Coast Guard began tracking the Bella 1 oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. And they continue to follow that ship through the Caribbean Sea, then into the Atlantic Ocean. And the Coast Guard actually says that they have the means to forcibly board that vessel if they get the green light from the White House. Now, in the meantime, the Coast Guard remains roughly a half-mile behind the Bella 1, and the vessel has been resisting the U.S. policy here of seizing those oil tankers suspected of transporting sanctioned Venezuelan oil abroad. Now, President Trump has said that the practice is intended to choke off what is the primary source of income for Venezuela, of course, oil. And when the U.S. began actually pursuing this vessel, the White House said it was sanctioned under a judicial seizure order and that it was flying that false flag. And now we're learning this new Russian flag being painted on the side of this vessel. It does complicate the U.S.'s efforts here, Nick, but it is worth noting that international law makes it clear that a vessel can't just change its flag mid-voyage there. Of course, they would need to change their registration if that were to be the case.
Libby, question. President Trump sounded optimistic about an end to Russia's invasion of Ukraine earlier this week, but now there are new attacks.
Yeah, we're seeing those attacks just after we saw those peace talks happen on Sunday, Nick, at Mar-a-Lago behind me between Ukrainian President Zelensky and President Trump. And those peace talks, of course, they went well. It was a cordial situation between those two leaders. But now we're seeing these attacks launched by both Russia and Ukraine into those cities there. And that is why this is now really making these efforts more tense between these two as these peace talks continue. And now earlier today, what we saw was Russian drones struck apartment buildings in the Ukrainian city of Odessa, injuring 6 people, including a toddler and 2 other children. Now, also, we're learning this also comes amid those high-stakes diplomacy efforts between the U.S., Europe, and Ukraine in that effort, of course, that we've seen to end the years-long war, and all of that happening at Mar-a-Lago as well. And earlier this week, actually, Russia was claiming without evidence that Ukraine targeted one of Vladimir Putin's homes in northwest Russia. And that, of course, is the claim that Ukraine has denied. But here's the president talking about that attack.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good because we're talking about, it's a delicate period of time. This is not the right time.
Now, Nick, despite these attacks continuing, what we heard from President Trump on Sunday at Mar-a-Lago was he thought that an end to this war was closer than ever. But it is noteworthy that that comment from the president comes at a time when tensions are incredibly high between not only the two leaders of these countries with that alleged attack on Putin's residence, but with the attacks from Ukraine as well. And the president's comments, we'll see if he has more to say about this tonight, Nick.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.